Once, in a small village nestled deep within a quiet valley, there lived a humble shopkeeper. His little shop sat on the corner of the village square, filled with life's essentials: rice, spices, oil. To the villagers, the shop was more than a place to buy things. It was a lifeline. But behind the counter, the shopkeeper's heart was rarely at peace. He worried constantly. What if I lose my customers? What if I don't earn enough to survive? What if something goes wrong tomorrow, or the day after? He carried the weight of every "what if" like sacks of rice upon his shoulders. Each morning, a kind and gentle monk from the monastery nearby would visit the shop. He would buy just a bit of rice, a small bottle of oil, and share a few kind words. His smile was calm, his steps light, like someone who had made peace with life. But the shopkeeper was always busy. Busy counting, measuring, calculating, worrying. Too busy to notice the peace standing right in front of him. One day, the sky turned dark. A storm unlike any before swept through the valley. The river overflowed. Fields vanished beneath waves of brown water. Homes were flooded. Fear hung heavy in the air. Desperate villagers rushed to the shop. "Please, do you have rice? We need oil for cooking. My family hasn't eaten in a day." The shopkeeper's hands trembled as he checked his shelves, that he didn't have enough. What if more people come? What if I run out? What if I can't restock in time? His thoughts spiraled. Panic gripped his chest. He sank behind the counter, whispering to no one. What if I lose everything? At that very moment, the monk stepped into the shop. His robes were wet from the rain, but his expression was calm as ever. He looked at the trembling shopkeeper and asked gently, "Why are you so troubled?" With a broken voice, the shopkeeper replied, "The storm has ruined everything. If I give away what little I have, I might not survive. I don't know what to do." The monk smiled kindly and said, "Let me tell you a story. Long ago, there lived a farmer in a dry and dusty land. One year, the skies stopped crying. The sun scorched the earth. His well dried up. His crops wilted. Day by day, his hope faded. But every morning, the farmer prayed. He stood before the dry well, joined his hands, and whispered, 'Water will come.' His neighbors laughed. 'Prayers won't fill your buckets,' they mocked. But the farmer didn't stop. He picked up a shovel and began digging a new well, one stroke at a time. Blistered hands, aching back, no water in sight. But still he dug. Days turned to weeks. Just as he was about to give up, clunk, his shovel hit something. A sound different from stone. He dug faster, and there it was, a hidden spring beneath the earth. Fresh, cool water burst forth, enough not only for him, but for the entire village. "You see," the monk said, "the farmer didn't sit and wait for a miracle. He believed, and he acted. That is the power of faith." The shopkeeper fell silent. He looked out the window. The storm still raged, but something within him had shifted. Without another word, he stood up, opened his door wide, and said to the villagers, "Come in, take what you need, even if you can't pay today." And they came. Some brought empty hands. Some returned the next day with extra rice from their own homes. Some helped patch up the walls of his shop, damaged by the winds. In giving, the shopkeeper had lost nothing. He had gained everything. Days later, the storm had passed. The sun returned. Fields began to dry. And in the heart of the village, the little shop stood stronger than before, not just in stock, but in spirit. One evening, as golden light poured over the rooftops, the monk passed by again. The shopkeeper stood outside, hands folded, eyes filled with gratitude. "Your story," he said, "it taught me something. Faith isn't waiting for things to get better. It's trusting that if I do what's right, life will find a way." The monk nodded. Yes, faith isn't blind. It sees beyond fear. It's the quiet strength that moves us to act when we feel weakest. And so the shopkeeper lived differently from that day on. His shop became a place of comfort, a place where kindness flowed like oil, and hope was measured by the scoop. He no longer feared the future, because he knew, when we act with courage, when we give with love, life gives back in ways we never expect. Maybe you too are standing at the edge of a storm. Maybe fear is whispering in your ear. But remember the shopkeeper and the farmer. Faith isn't waiting, that it's doing your best, then trusting the water will come.